What's up, my good people? This is your girl, Ms. Good News, right here with WLJZ 107.1 FM out of Livingstone College, all the way from Salisbury, North Carolina, right here with our very own, our presidential, our loving, our hardworking, our life-changing, okay, Dr. Anthony Davis, the 13th president.
Wow, glad to be here, Ms. Good News. It's no news like good news.
Come on now, he said it.
Right.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. We here at the Midwinter Convention in Kansas City, Missouri. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling excellent. You know, just to come to a conference year after year after year, I remember my first time coming to the conference, you know, when I became an adult, it was life-changing then. I remember my first Midwinter conference was in Baltimore, Maryland. I remember Reverend Mark Thomas, shout out to Reverend Mark Thomas, who's in Washington, D.C. today.
Right.
But I remember hearing him preach a sermon entitled Armed and Dangerous, and that day changed my life.
Wow. So you say you've been coming since you were a child.
Well, as a child, this conference didn't exist.
Okay.
But when I became a young adult, like in my late 20s, I was here.
Well, you know what? I just found out, Dr. Davis, that I'm a young adult. And I'm in my 30s. I ain't trying to tell them too much. You know what I'm saying?
Tell them too much.
But we a young adult. And then the 21 through something is emerging adults. I didn't even know that.
Right.
We just learning.
So during my career in the AME Zion Church, I served on the National Steering Committee for Young Adults and Christian Ministries.
Okay.
And that was really what the ministry was all about. How do we get young people between the ages of 22 to 40, because there were some gaps.
That's
and
right.
It's funny when you come to a meeting like this, now you have children who are now young adults.
That's right.
And they're actually actively engaged into the AME Zion movement. You know, that should excite you.
It is.
I remember coming to this conference and sitting around the wannabe politicians.
Right.
We would have dialogue about who are the next generation leaders, and names started to emerge like Bishop Brian R. Thompson. Shout out to my brother, Bishop Brian R. Thompson.
Yes.
Names like Dr. Darren Mitchell. Even back then, they talked about Bishops Moore and Proctor. Those were the young adult leaders that we looked up to.
Right.
And now we're in leadership roles.
That's right. And y'all have, like you said, your own young adults, because we have Brian that's on the MultiMedia team at Livingstone College.
Right.
Okay, so shout out to him. And then when
Shout
you think of young adults, I think about Kion
Courtney.
And he's doing a wonderful job.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's even leading. He led the drama program here, the workshop.
His grandfather is the senior bishop, but let me rewind the clock. His grandfather was someone we were talking about for young adult leadership back then.
Wow.
And now he's the senior bishop in the AME Zion Church. Now I'm telling my age.
There ain't nothing wrong with it, because your age look good.
Oh, well.
Come on now, he's the 13th. Don't play with him.
Don't believe that when they say good black don't crack.
It be cracking. Okay.
Right.
Well, look, but we here though. We gonna feel good and look good. Like you said, dreams are coming true. Just like Pastor Reverend Nivens preached on today, we are starting to see things come into fruition. Like even with you at Livingstone College, how many things, or what's one of the top things that you've seen come into fruition from the time before you were president now? What has one of those great things that's like, man, I was waiting for this?
Now you're making me feel like a kid at Child World and Toys R Us, and you tell me I can only have one toy.
Okay, you can have two.
Right.
You can.
All right. Number one, I have to say the increased awareness around philanthropy. I mean, we've been blessed. There are not many private HBCUs that have seen the influx of philanthropic donations like we've had.
Right.
I mean, we talk about the millions, but in my 2 years there on a $50 million capital project, we've raised over 38 million of it. So, you know, it's just, you know, amazing what God is doing. And I take no credit for it. I believe, you know, God had everything to do with it. It's only God's timing, but more importantly, God's favor.
That's right.
You know?
So how important is that to fellowship with people in institutions that are growing? Because I think it's a great thing, like for me, to be a part of Livingstone College, and where you see people pouring seeds and water into the ground here, you want to be a part of that. But how important is it for people to attach to those things that are growing?
Well, I think it's important. But what makes it more important is that you get to see the life cycle of an institution.
Right.
I mean, Livingstone College has been here now. This is our 146th year.
Right.
Just think about it. Descendants of freed slaves gave birth to an audacious idea. And guess what? They envision everything we see. So I'm not surprised of anything I see God do.
That's right.
Because I've seen him hold back a Red Sea. So guess what? Nothing surprises me.
All right, now y'all better not come on now, 13 for preach now, and he do it good, okay? So I'm so glad to be here, and I mean, I hope that I get to, first off, let me say you thank you, because you brought not just one or two people, you brought a whole Livingstone. Everywhere I look is Livingstone College.
We rolled up in here deep. We came to this meeting deep. I think it's important because for years, you would come to this meeting and we didn't see a Livingstone. So for me as president, one of the things I wanted to see is that we needed to make sure that people see their dollars or return on their investment.
That's right.
Or better yet, return on their impact.
That's right. So
because most people don't realize that the AME Zion Church, come hell or high water, provides Livingstone College a significant amount of support.
Right.
To the tune of about $750,000 every year. At one point, it was about $1 million every year. The church fell on hard times, but they still kept their commitment to Livingstone.
Wow. Wow.
And now, today, we're keeping our commitment to the church.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Most people don't realize that Livingstone College, and this is not hype, as the young people say, facts.
Right, facts.
Facts. The facts is that there are not too many HBCUs that can say that they've had a 100% increase in their freshman class.
That's right.
We can say that. We had 200 freshmen. Math doesn't lie. Today we have 400 freshmen.
Wow.
When I started this journey, we were ranked number 76. There were only 104 HBCUs. We were ranked number 76. Today we're ranked number 51.
Amen.
So moved up 20 spaces in a matter of 2 years.
Wow.
My goal, though, is for Livingstone College to be a top 20 HBCU. We're well on our way. 78% retention.
Yes.
3 years in a row. This will be our third year. So it's not the same Livingstone College that we had years ago. Somebody brought something to my attention this morning. They said they remember there was a time when we had to go and get money. The AME Zion Church had to bail out Livingstone.
Wow. Not now.
Now look at what God is doing.
And God is doing it.
God's doing it.
Man, I'm so glad.
Anthony Davis is not doing it.
No, but you've been
Anthony
obedient.
Davis couldn't do it.
But you've been
God's
obedient.
doing
I'll tell you that, because you have to be obedient, right? Like when God is telling you to move and to speak and to pick this person and pick that person, because that's what I was going to ask you next is, I know that because of your obedience, God is able to use you how he is. But what would you say to other institutions, that's HBCU or private institutions? Because we are a private institution, and this is a big deal that you're raising this kind of money. What would you say to these other institutions? What are some things that they could focus on, if you had to say 2 or 3, to get in a better space?
Well, that's kind of hard to say what they need to do to get in a better space.
Right.
I have to say that being at Livingstone College, I had a unique journey.
Right.
So I served the institution as a director, an assistant vice president, associate vice president, then vice president. Came back some 15 years later to serve as a senior consultant, right? Then after serving as a senior consultant, now president.
Right.
I got 7 different lenses into the organization. I had an opportunity under Jimmy R. Jenkins to sit in the cockpit.
Right.
Right? Couldn't touch the controls, but sit in the cockpit. So I knew how the plane would land. I knew how to fly the plane in turbulent weather.
Right.
Right? Because I had great mentors and great mentorship.
Well, I think that's it. Mentorship, like you just said, you had so many different lenses, so you was able to pick up a
But
lot
I
of
learned
different
something.
things.
You know what I learned though?
What you
Best
learned?
practices are best practices for a reason. You know why?
Wow.
That's why they call them best practices. And so that's what we're doing. Just embracing some of the best practices. In my career, I've been a philanthropic practitioner for the last 20 years of my life. So I started my career in higher ed in 2001. So for the last, 22, 23 years?
Yeah.
I've been someone who embraces best practices.
Right.
Having the opportunity to raise over 500 million prior to coming to Livingstone.
Wow.
And now I'm there and we're just embracing best practices and God is smiling on our best practice ministry.
Well, that's the word for me, ladies and gentlemen, best practices, okay? And with that being said, I want to again thank you, Dr. Davis. I know we're going to be all around here for the next couple of days because we got so much more to get into, right? In this midwinter convention here in Kansas City. But before we go, we're going to play a game.
Okay.
You ready for a game?
I'm always ready.
Okay, it's called Finish That Jingle. I'm gonna start the jingle.
Okay.
And you gotta finish it.
All right, if I can.
I'm gonna help. We're gonna do it together. We'll do it together.
Okay.
Okay. We have an audience, ladies and gentlemen, in the back. They will help us finish this jingle too. Okay. So you ready?
Ready.
Okay. The weather outside is frightening.
The snow outside is delightful.
Let's do it together, people. We ready? I just learned this too, Dr. Davis. So listen, I'm acting like I know, but I really didn't know.
I don't know.
I didn't know either, but here we go. Here we gonna do it.
See, that's
not right.
New school stuff. Right? I thought you were gonna do a jingle like fish don't burn in the kitchen.
Okay.
Right? Beans don't burn on the grill.
Okay. See,
You took
a whole lot of
time just to get up that hill.
Just to get up that hill.
I mean, throw me some jingles like that.
Okay, well now you gave me a good jingle. Okay, you gave me a good jingle.
The more we live, yeah.
See, we're gonna stop at his jingle. I ain't going back to the weather outside. Okay, we're gonna fish don't fry in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And the beans don't burn on that grill. Okay.
Every time you need a payment.
Come on.
Okay.
Good times right here in Kansas City, Missouri at the Midwinter Convention. This is your girl, Miss Good News, and I am here with
13th President, Dr. Anthony J. Davis.
And we out. LC.
Nah, we can't go out. Who you with?
LC.